So 680 minus 860 minus 680. So they will return back 180 into your account. So you collect it. That's what we call payment overcast. So you debit it because you are receiving that amount. That are the tactics that you use when you are preparing. You can just write it as 860 minus 680. That is 180. That you collect it and you make that is the effect that you make in a statement. Now, the second one said the bank order payment of 60 naira. The bank payment has not been entered into your card book. This one is what we call standing order. And you know, standing order is when you order your bank to make payment on your behalf. And when they make the payment, you have not been told that payment has been made. And I think it has been told you could have reduced it in your card book. Now you want to adjust it to do the treatment because you have not been. He said it has not been entered in your card book. That means you have not been informed. So what we now do is that you just write standing order because you are paying it out of your account. It is your bank that is paying it on your behalf. That is 60 naira. So that is how we do this. That is that on the standing order. And if you see in the debit side of card book, you see a standing order. Then the third one, see, cash paid into your account for 200 has been entered into the card book as 180 naira. 180 naira. Now, what this is telling us here is that the cash payment paid into the bank for has been entered. This is what we call it receipt undercast. Receipt undercast. So instead of you collecting 200, so you collect 180 naira. So a cash paid into your bank, but instead of it them to pay you 200, they pay you 180. That means you are going to receive it because your receipt has been undercast by 20 naira. You just write receipt undercast. That is 200 minus 180. That is 20 naira. I told you the other time, accounting has to do with interpretation. If you are given the question, look the question very well so that you can interpret. If you misinterpret it, then it's going to cause abeyance in your figures. So we have to be very careful and make sure you interpret the question very well. Then D, we have transfer of 3,000 naira. Transfer of 3,000 naira to capital account has not been entered into card book. A transfer has been made into your transfer amount of money into your customer's account, and the bank you have not been informed that such thing has happened. So what we just do is that in as much the money is going out of your account, then you just write transfer capital account. So then you now make the change, you make the effect that it has been transferred. So you deduct it because it's a payment. When you make payment to Capital Bank Enterprises, so this is how you are going to do that. Then if the card balance has been incorrectly brought down 1999 as debit balance instead of debit balance of 2,400 instead of debit balance of 2,200, sorry, rather. So now this one is what we call receipt overcast. You have to be very careful in order to interpret it. He said you have a debt, you collected 2,400 instead of collecting 2,200. So that means receipt overcast. You receive more than you're supposed to receive. So this one is 240 and this one is 2,200. So you have to return 200 back, of which you return it back make that in your card book. Receipt overcast 240 minus 2,200. That is 200. That is that. Then F said bank charges for naira did not appear in your card. You know, we talk about bank charges is a amount that bank charge you based on the service that is being rendered to you. So when they make the deduction, you are not told. So you are going to make the adjustment here that bank charges, that because you have not been notified, then since it's called because it's definitely part, so you now make the changes here. That is that about it. Then we have 4 questions, 4 informations, 5 informations to go. Then check paid into the bank has been incorrectly totaled. The amount should have been 340. They said cash paid into bank has been incorrectly totaled. Amount should have been this. Now, they said instead of the amount should have been 340 instead of 300. Now, question A said check paid into the bank had been incorrectly totaled. This is what we call bank error. It has been incorrectly totaled. Instead of them, it is not an overcast, it's not a payment on the card. Here is that it is instead of it to be 300, then they now total it as 340. It is not overcast, but it is what we call bank error. It is a bank error because it is incorrectly totaled by the bank. So we do that when we prepare bank statement. You know how we do that. Then so let's note that H. We are still coming back to it when we get to bank statement, bank reconciliation statement. Then we have a check drawn amount to 18 naira has not been paid into bank account. Has not been paid into bank account. Listen to this question very well. A check, a receipt of 20 naira, check drawn amount to 18 naira has not been paid into account. This one is what we call unpresented check. When you draw check to the customer and that customer has not made payment from the bank, and then it has already been deducted in your card book. So since that person has not made the payment and you have been given back statement at the end of the month, you have to add it to your balance balance again, so that your account will increase. So we will do that when we get to bank reconciliation. Just type that I again. Then J said a receipt of 2,000 showed in the bank statement has not entered in the card book. A receipt of bank statement, your bank received 20 naira, and you have not been notified that they received 20 naira on your behalf. So what you just write here is the unrecorded check. Unrecorded check, and that one is 20 naira. It's what we call unrecorded check. It is where the bank has received the check, but you have not been notified at the end of the day. Then the K question said a check for 100 naira was dishonored. That one is a dishonored check. So, and I told you the reason why the dishonored check, when check has been stale or it has been altered. So that is 100 naira. Since it has not, because when you receive check, you must have added it in your card book. But when the bank dishonor it, that means to take it from the card book and reduce and put it in the credit side again. So this is the effect that we are making. Then the last question, which is L, said a check of 1,800 paid within the bank did not appear. They said a check of 1,800 paid into the bank on 31st July 1999 did not appear on the bank pass sheet until August. You are required. Now, listen to this level. Under the question, we call it uncredited check. And you know, when we're talking about uncredited check, is when you draw check in the bank and you have received it, but you have not been credited by the bank at the end of the day. So this one is what we call uncredited check. We prepare it when we get to bank reconciliation statement. So K, a check of 150 of which I made mention earlier is the uncredited check. Is a check of 1,800 paid into the bank on the 31st June 1999. So we've done with uncredited check, of which I told you the other time that that one is going to bank reconciliation statement. Now, question I. The bank received a credit transfer of 200 naira from the customer. That is what we call credit transfer. We call it credit transfer. So it is the information that the customers have, the bank has received a credit transfer of 200 naira, but the Fakunle company has not been notified. So we add it into your adjusted cash book. So these are the information. There are some information that they belong to bank reconciliation statement. We do just to that when the time comes. So let's add the total to get our bank balance. This is the balance BD. So let's add the total of this together, and the total is 4,220. So we add this one, we add this, and we get the difference. So the difference gives us the balance BD. That is the adjusted balance of adjusted cash book, and that is 820. So this is 820. So the addition of it is 420.